Hi, welcome. I've designed this little clip so that this will complement what you're doing in your Flow Workshop 3. So it's really intended for you to have a go at the Dancing Raisins activity, and for you then to have a look at this and see what the on-campus students did with a variety of activities. And at the same time you're completing that Workshop 3 worksheet that I've prepared. You can either download that or print it off and prepare it. So that's what it's all about, and this helps you to scaffold those two areas of the nature of science, and also this leads on to the investigation aspect that we're going to continue further later on. So remember to have a go at the Dancing Raisins, and then you'll be able to move on and do this. It'll be great.
Kia ora. Here we have our on-campus workshop, and you can see the students are exploring this whole idea of questions, and we have the 8 different activities happening, and I'm going to take you around and show you those. In each activity they have to write the questions that come up, and then they're converting the questions, as you've been asked to do. When you're seeing this workshop, they're converting those questions into things that they can investigate. So let's go over and have a look now at what they're doing. First group's looking at...
We were looking at making some sort of foam. So we got hot water and some Lux Flakes, which is a soap, and we mixed them together, and food colouring, and we mixed them together to make this like gooey, foamy texture stuff.
So that was with hot water?
Yeah, with hot water.
And what were some of the questions you came up with on your question sheet? You came up with these questions?
We decided we wanted to try it, what would happen if we used cold water, so that's what we're doing at the moment. We've got cold water in there and some Lux Flakes. We're just about to add some more, and we're stirring that.
So what was your prediction about this?
We didn't think we didn't think it would work.
So what they did is they listed their questions, and you're going to be asked to do this on your sheet. Then they classified their questions according to expert, now, later, and too hard, which you've been asked to do in your workshop. Then they threw the dice to see what would happen if they changed things, and there are 11 other starters there as well. All right, so what is this group up to? You're blowing bubbles and you're bouncing them. Wow.
We try to see which material would sustain the bubble. So we tried 5 contrasting materials and found that plastic, hair and wool were the best for sustaining it.
All right, so you wrote your questions, and then you decided on a question to explore, and you're now testing out what materials bubbles best bounce on. So you made the bouncing bubbles mixture. All right, so we got some people over here. What are you testing out?
We were wondering why the big bubbles pop, so we decided to change what it bounces on, so we made like a really big surface area using a scarf.
Here we have another group. They're looking at this idea of bubbling potions. All right, so they're looking at bubbling potions, and we're just going to have a quick talk to someone who they collected their questions on the first one, and now what have you been doing, Brooke, in terms of what question you've been exploring?
So our question was, why did it get hot, which we turned into how can we make it hotter. So what we did was we added extra baking soda.
We tripled the amount of baking soda, and the group over here, they tripled the amount of damp bread, and so we found that our one didn't get as warm as their one.
Our one's actually quite
So we thought
what does that tell you?
that
What
the
does that
damp
tell
bread
you?
was one of the agents that created the heat.
So it's the one that's creating the heat.
Here's way more blown up than this one, so we think it's the baking soda that caused the reaction that makes it.
So would it be okay to think that if there's a chemical change going on, the heat's being produced, and what else is coming off?
Gas.
The gas.
More heat, less gas.
All right. So let's go back to your questions now and see if there's something else you could explore.
Warm milk and cold milk and 2 different types of dishwashing liquid.
Okay, so that's the moving milk. So you've got 2 different types of milk, the blue and the green. All right, and this was actually on week 1 and 2. You were asked to actually have a little go at this at home because it's so easy to do. And then you put food colouring on, 3 drops of food colouring, different colours, and then you added detergent.
Yeah.
So what's the question you're exploring now?
We were exploring, will warm or cold milk make a difference to the reaction?
What have you found?
We found that the cold milk has a longer reaction than the warm milk.
Oh, okay, so in other words, the hot milk
Hot milk blends the
speeds it up. Kind of speeds it up. Okay. Cool. So this group is looking at making lava lamps, and they've been experimenting with their own. Could you just tell me what you've been doing?
We've been experimenting to see how much oil, how much water, how
Yes.
much food colouring, and how much
Espro clear.
Espro clear to put in.
All right.
So we're trying our
and you've
ratios.
worked together as a team to come up with a theory. You're now going to put the theory into action here with this one, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So now that you've done your initial experimenting, what have you decided?
Well, you can see here we got a couple of experiments that didn't go so well. So we had ones that we put way too much food colouring, ones that we put not enough oil and all that. So yeah, we think we've got the ratio here, and yeah.
So what do you think the ratio is now?
We're looking at about 1/4 of water going in first to 3/4 of oil with about 5 drops of food colouring.
All right.
Yeah, we found it quite important to the order in which you did this.
Oh, so the water's going in first?
Water's going
Water,
in first.
yeah.
Okay.
The water went in first, the bubbles actually came out bigger, whereas if we put the oil in first and the water on top, they came out smaller because the water would sink.
All right. So yeah, we're adding the
Oil.
Just standard canola oil. Yeah, we're good there, I reckon. Yeah, it was a lot. We tried blue and it was quite dark.
So you're going to have to put more quantity in for this one, aren't you? Because how many times bigger do you need?
Yeah, I reckon that's about right.
All right.
So
now,
what?
this is the activation. So what we're using to activate it?
Espro clear.
That's right. Clear. And we're putting a whole one in. Yes. You can add more if you want to. Okay, we're going down. Okay. Oh, a bit of a.
Bubbles are pretty small compared to our previous experiments.
You just do that.
Yeah, we reckon when
just
we
took off.
when we did it on the smaller ones, some of the drops they were still sitting in the oil, and as soon as they dropped into the water, then they got whatever was in the tablet and started fizzing up.